Hello and welcome to Locutors of Trek. Starfleet Academy school is in session. We're very excited. This is a very exciting time in the Star Trek universe. I am your host, Davan Scalhorn, and with me, I'm very happy to say, is writer, friend of the show, Derek Tyler Attico.
Davan, thanks for having me. This is going to be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Writer of this fine book right here, which, what?
Yes. The one that you see.
We're going to have to talk a lot about this another time, but we'll table that for now. Because that's right up in the old head canon now. So I have a lot to say, but we'll table that for now. But yeah, so a lot of things changed on Thursday, didn't they?
A lot of things changed. I've been waiting for this for a while. I was lucky enough to see. I've watched the first 6 episodes.
You've seen more than I have.
Yeah, I've seen the first 6. And it's pretty darn cool. But the first episode, I mean, I know we're here to talk about. I can't talk about 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, but 1 and 2. I mean, the first episode is for me. It was just phenomenal. It just really. The word that I use for it is that it has a lot of heart.
Oh, it does.
Right?
It does.
Right?
Oh yeah, both episodes made me tear up.
Right, both episodes.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Not afraid to say it. Alex Kurtzman, as far as I know, it's Alex Kurtzman's directorial debut.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that looked weird, seeing him with director next to him.
Yeah, and he's killing it because all of those.
Was that the second episode too? I saw that he directed the first.
I don't know. I know it's the first. But I don't think he did the second. I don't think he did the second. But I know he did the first. And all the choices, in every shot that you see, I mean.
Yeah. Like I tried to nitpick it because, okay. So here's the thing. So going into the show, so I feel like maybe they shouldn't have released this poster because it's that poster that got everybody saying, Star Trek 90210 and all that stuff. Yeah. But you know what? That's what that poster says to you. But this poster doesn't reflect what we saw, at all.
No,
really. Other than it's camaraderie and friendships that are going to build and that kind of thing. But they're not anywhere near this point. This relationship that we see here, maybe in 10 episodes from now or something. But those characters are nowhere near hugging on a lawn now.
They're not there yet. But something that Star Trek does very well is it writes for now, right? It's always done that for the last 60 years. It writes for now. Greetings, Cassandra. Greetings. But it also writes for the future, right? Yeah, right. It also writes for the future, and that's what I found so interesting about Starfleet Academy is that it's finding a niche within the Star Trek lexicon and Star Trek universe that we've touched on, but not really haven't seen before, at least not in the totality that we're seeing it now.
Just in random episodes where Nick Locarno is not very nice and that thing. Right.
Right. Lower Decks, the original.
Whenever we see Boothby.
Right. But now we're actually seeing how a younger generation, I don't like the term younger people. Everybody uses that term. How a younger generation deals with certain issues in Starfleet and threats and each other in Starfleet, and I think it's just so fascinating, man.
That's interesting that you say that because I felt like that's what the opening monologue that Holly Hunter says, where you don't see her, it's just the opening monologue. I feel like that's what they were speaking to.
Right.
She's just generations ago, Starfleet Academy encouraged generations to look forward and be the best of themselves. I feel like you could have swapped out the word Starfleet Academy for Star Trek, and Star Trek has done that for generations and generations. There was a lot of meta stuff happening here, I feel. But so even that, it's that opening, I was just ooh, in so far. Like,
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of meta, and I know there are elements of like the fan base, and they're like, oh, it's 90210, or it's not this, or it's not that, or how can this be? How is it possible that there's a Jem'Hadar Cleon, and all of these things, and what this makes me think about is I'm a deviate for a second. There's a Strange New Worlds episode, Those Old Scientists, which most of us love because it's a great crossover, right?
Yeah.
And there's a scene when Boimler is in the turbo lift with Chapel, and he's like, "Oh, Spock shouldn't be like this. This is not how Spock should be. This is wrong. This is not, And she's saying, "Well, maybe he's just going through a thing." And to me as a writer, it felt like that's the conversation between Boimler taking the place of the fans and Chapel taking the place of the writing staff of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We got it. He's just going through a thing. We'll put him back the way he was when TOS starts, but don't worry. But the fan base is like, no, they personify in Boimler. It's like, no, this is not how. Relax.
Yeah.
We got it. So yeah.
Yeah, we all love Hot Spock. Go on now.
Right, we all love Hot Spock, and he'll get back to what we know, and I think that all comes to play in Starfleet Academy. This is still very, very much Star Trek, and the Star Trek that we love in every in every way. I was somebody was saying on the interwebs, the burn is so stupid. The burn it makes no sense, and I would encourage people before they say things like that to just think about the totality of Star Trek, because there was a cataclysmic event in Star Trek that changed how people lived, how people thought. It became it was an event that made people not trust each other, and it was there was scarcity, and there was disease, and all of that was World War III, which Gene Roddenberry says happens in Star Trek. And he uses that as a jumping off point for what? TOS, because Star Trek, TOS, the Vulcans meeting, all of that happens after.
Soon, I think. And we're right on schedule for this World War III.
Oh, that's another podcast. We're on schedule. We're isn't that nuts? Right? We're on schedule, right? Between that and the Bell riots, man, we're on target. But I guess my point is that it's nuts, right? But Roddenberry knew you had to have an event to shake things up, and that's what he was doing when he was world building the foundation and origins of Star Trek. And so the writers for Discovery and now for Starfleet Academy, they're using the burn in that same way.
Yeah.
And that's very much Star Trek,
It is. And I back to my little now it's almost a confessional, really. So back to my little confessional. So like so going into this series, I was a bit skeptical. I was because no, and totally proven wrong, but like because it was a spin-off of, so I kind of did fall off of Discovery a bit. It was not my favorite. Didn't really speak to me too well, I found. Like I liked the first 2 seasons quite a bit, and then I just kind of like once they went to the far future, I felt like I lost all the stakes. Maybe that was just me. I felt like I wasn't connected to this far future a lot. But in the burn thing, like I don't know, it just wasn't my favorite. Like wasn't my favorite thing. I didn't really like the detached nacelles. Like a bunch of the far future stuff I didn't really like a whole lot visually and whatever. But like a lot of people did, and that's cool. But this show makes me like completely like revisit all of that, because what you just said about the burn and how they're using it is 100% true. Because what I've said for years is that like where Enterprise, the series, ended, that's right where I wanted to see. I wanted to see the the Federation be built from, like, not the ship 4 years before that. I wanted to see the Federation built.
Federation, the Romulan Earth War, all of that is what we wanted to see. It just took too long to get there, so it got canceled.
But that's kind of what we're getting here, because they're basically, this is that, but in the future, where they're building the Federation up. And in a way, this is kind of a better place to do it, because people don't have so many like canon things to worry about in a timeline where it's going to start tripping over things.
Right.
You know, kind of some of the issues that, like, some people may say Strange New Worlds runs into, but I don't think it really trips over canon much myself. But
it really doesn't. The writers are doing a phenomenal job, man, because they're doing so many, especially in this show, they're doing so many nods back to, I mean, you have the Kirk Pavilion, you have the names of all the decorated offices.
Gardens.
Right. Boothby Gardens. I mean, with the Rock. I mean, you know, come on.
Yeah.
And it fits so much. And what it's really starting to do now is the same thing that I try to do in the autobiography, is you start to enrich in the whole universe, you know? And even though this is so far away from the 24th century, you still feel that richness of Star Trek and that texture and that dimension and depth of Star Trek in this show. So you don't feel like, at least I didn't feel like anything was lost in the large gap of time, you know, at least for me.
No, and like certainly where it sits now in this show, I'm like perfectly fine with it. And like I see what it also allows for, as far as like a hybridization of species. And like I hope they don't rely too much on that, because it is still like I was glad to see like the full-blooded Klingon show up. I'm like, yeah, like I still want to see a Klingon, even in the far like but like the I love what's her name, Thok, the Klingon.
Right. Klingon Jem'Hadar.
I love her so much. Like again, going in, I saw her in the trailer going in. I'm like, do I really need a Klingon Jem'Hadar hybrid? Yes, I did.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I did, and she's amazing. Like I'm just like the very first scene with her, like as soon as Caleb starts talking, I'm just waiting for her to snap on him. I'm like, if she's a Klingon Jem'Hadar hybrid, something's going to happen here, and it does. She immediately snaps on him, and I'm like, this is great. Like,
this is great. And when she gets injured, she's bleeding white, and I'm like, oh, I love that, you know. And who knows? Can she cloak? Who knows?
Yeah. Oh.
Right. So I mean, you know, there's such a rich tapestry here that we have to play with now by bringing all of this forward. It's gonna be so fantastic. It's gonna be so fantastic.
But why don't we give our thoughts on a couple of these characters here? We just talked about Thok there for a second. What do you think of Jaden Krog?
I love this character.
I love his voice.
I love his voice. I love that when he speaks slower and with purpose. Because if you speak slower and with purpose, people stop and listen.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, not like me, who's like all over the place, bouncing like a bouncy ball. But
it's like Dr. Vastbinder, who spoke in one long, unbroken sentence.
Right. And I also love that he's not the quintessential Klingon warrior. You know, I was really interesting. Yeah, because Sean was making a good point. Yeah, it is refreshing and new, and nods to older franchises. But I really like
is the exact word I was getting to, because I was like, I was even finding myself a little detached from Strange New Worlds season 3, which I love Strange New Worlds. I'm like, is there a problem with me? It's like, what's going on here? And then I watched these 2 episodes and I was on the edge of my seat, and I just watched them the second time and I was on the edge of my seat and crying again the second time. I'm like, no, there was no problem with me. I don't know. This is a great show. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, now I gotta go back and like get back into Strange New Worlds season 3.
Strange New Worlds is a great show too, but the thing is, Strange New Worlds is the writers are taking big swings. And if you go back from Discovery, from season 1 to season 2, it's a big swing to put in Pike in season 2, and they're doing a lot of big swings with Strange New Worlds, and so some of them are going to hit right on the mark, and some don't hit on the mark. But that's what happens with the writing. I think the beauty of Starfleet Academy is that it's found that right mixture, that right recipe,
has it ever,
right? That balance where it's not too much nostalgia, it's just the right amount.
See, I'm looking at you in the screen, and I just realized no one else can see anybody but Jaden Krog. I was looking at you down below and having a conversation, but I left Jaden sitting up there. But yeah,
no, he's a great character.
He's cool.
He's a cool character. And there's really great characters. That's what would have made this show succeed or fail. Sam. Oh my God. Right?
I did not see her being a hologram. That was such a surprise.
Right. She's a hologram created 4 months ago. And so she has the entire human experience and 17-year-old experience condensed in the last 4 months. And there's a lot of stuff she doesn't know. She doesn't know how to shake hands because there are so many species out there who knows how to greet each other. And she doesn't know how to do things. And she's just happy about everything. And people are like, all right, you're like a sponge with all the energy in the room, bring it down.
Yeah. People keep telling me I'm a lot in like, she's like maybe I don't belong here. It's very sweet.
Right. And we've all felt that. We've all felt from time to time, maybe we're too much or not enough for a particular space, and I think Starfleet Academy touches on that. And it touches on that for not just a younger generation, but for every generation. This is the human experience. It's not just like it's a human experience. You could be a person of a certain age, older, and go into a room and feel a certain way about the energy in the room. So Sam's experiences relate to everyone, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And the being the doctor back, of course.
Well, I mean, it's just a perfect mixture, right? Just dropping him in makes a lot of sense, I think. It's just
I think he's having a lot of fun too, especially in episode 2 when they went to him and they're like, look, we need to do a 5-minute scene where you're just singing opera on a balcony.
right.
It's like, I'm in.
Right. You're just singing, there was that scene, that moment when, was it Sam or someone mentions Gwendala from
Captain Gwendala, they called her.
Right, yeah. Captain Gwendala, and his whole demeanor changes. And I'm like, what happened to them in the Prodigy? But that's what the writers are doing. They're making those connections because Star Trek is a vast universe. Space is big, but there are people and places and things that we know. So it's touching on those. And just to see his face change like that, like, oh man, what happened to those guys? I love that show, Prodigy. What happened to them? So yeah. It's great stuff.
Speaking of connections, I mean, we had this.
Right.
That wall. Right. Like, so many things there. Like Admiral Harry Kim. Harry Kim. And I was Admiral Alonzo Freeman's on there from like Lower Decks. That was cool.
Garrick is on there. I saw Garrick's on there somewhere as an ambassador.
Garrick is on there?
He's on here somewhere as an ambassador. There's some really great stuff on here, man.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of nods and stuff in that scene. It's like and like Lieutenant Nog, so like we may have assumed that he didn't make it past lieutenant for
he didn't make. Yeah. I wish they had said captain for Nog.
Yeah,
that would have been really nice.
For Nog.
Yeah.
And how cool is the ship that can become like the school on the planet?
The first time I saw this ship, it was great. I was fortunate enough to see it on a big screen. So the first time I saw it, I was like, oh man, this design is dope. Because for me, it felt like it was harkening almost back to a ancient Greek aesthetic.
Yeah.
In some capacity, right?
With like the kind of like the scaled fan, kind of like
the scale, right.
Like, and yeah.
Right, but at the same time, very forward facing for Star Trek, for Starfleet, starship design. You still have, and it's so interesting because the first time we see it on the show, you have that famous tilt where the camera goes above the saucer, and we first saw that.
You see the name and
right, and we first saw that with 1701 back in in the 60s, right? Yeah. And that same tilt is there, and that reaches right back into the past, to say, hey, you're okay. This is Star Trek. We've got you, and I really love that, those little nods, which are thought about and put in. So it was really, it's a badass ship. I really like the ship. I really like it.
I did too. And I couldn't figure out what the purpose of the long fans were, but then once you realize it, they just drop them. And then, because they seem like they could be cumbersome in some situations, but they're like, they don't worry about that. They would just drop them.
Right. But, just drop them. Right.
Yeah.
And so much of the ship is holographic. There's so many different levels and layers, and it's
true. Oh, it's a school. Like it's pretty great.
It's a school, right?
It's really pretty on the inside. And I like the little droids, how they're like, they have command division colors. And like the captain knows them all by names. Okay, so let's talk about Captain Ake for a minute. Captain Ake. I think I found my spirit animal, my Starfleet spirit animal. So I always thought like the captain I would always relate the most to is Sisko, because we like a lot of the same things and whatnot. But he's like really good at a lot of things. And like kind of super intimidating, and I'm not not like him in a lot of ways, but like her, like if I was a Starfleet officer, I would basically be her. So because have you noticed if she doesn't comb her hair, like there's just fly.
She doesn't comb her hair, right? She
look so and she hums songs to herself all the time, which I also do. I sit like that, the way she sits in her chair, like all the things that she was doing. And like when she blocks him, like he was gonna go sit in her chair, Braca, and she just like falls on it and looks ridiculous.
Right.
Ridiculous look. I'm like, no captain would do that because they're afraid to look ridiculous. She does not care if she looks ridiculous. And that's what I love about her.
You're so
I love her so much. I love her so much.
I loved that as I was watching this, there are a lot of things that are happening. This is the 32nd century. And it's not, a lot of people are saying, oh, the way she sits is not like a captain. It's not like she doesn't respect the position or the chair. That's not what it's about. There's a comfort and an ease that she has. And she's a being that's lived for a very long time. So she's just a very comfortable person. I think it goes in that speech when she's barefoot. And it's right. And the admiral was like, it's like, well, what are you doing? And she's like, look,
it releases endorphins in your brain and it helps.
Right.
She's like, I don't worry about splinters. I signed all the waivers.
right. I signed all the waivers. And sometimes these little piggies just gotta, you gotta let them out.
Just gotta let the piggies out.
But that also says how free and open that ship is without losing any command structure or decorum, right? So if you think about that, they're not really losing anything, because you could not do that in any 24th century or prior ship. It's just not. It's not happening, But
Thank
here
you,
it's great.
Cassandra. It's the head wreath. That's what I was trying to think of.
The head wreath. Yes. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you.
Well, Cassandra, explain yourself. Tawny Newsome was on that list twice. How? How? What's her other character that was on that list?
She's on there
as Beckett, Mariner, probably. But who else? Who else would she be?
Yeah, I don't know who else she would be.
Yeah. Feel free to explain yourself in the comments there, Cassandra, because that's interesting. But totally right. It's
great stuff.
And she's like in another universe, I would be a teacher as well. Like that's what my mother did, and like I could see myself doing that. But then I discovered gardening.
I could see you doing that. Yeah,
I would just ended up working with plants instead. Oh, it's Mariner and it's herself on the left. What really? It just says Tawny Newsome. That's pretty hilarious. If that's
oh wow, I didn't even notice that. That's cute. That's
they
nice.
put that in there. Oh, they have many writers and producers on the wall. Oh, I did not.
Oh, right. Sometimes they do that. Yeah, like on the ship plaques, they would put their names and stuff. So I guess that's what they did on the wall. That's cool.
But
yeah, so go back and study that wall.
I may have a new captain. I don't know. No, I can't replace Sisko yet. But my God, I love.
I mean, yeah. Well, Sisko is the epitome of like I think male presence, you know, and command.
Yeah.
You know, but she is totally the opposite of that, and I think the character is structured to be that way, right? That she's very loose, but when she has to be, she'll bring it. Don't mistake her aloofness for someone that can't command. You know, she can command. She's just having a good time. She's been around a long time. She's just having a good time.
Yeah, I think this Lanthanite as a main character is smart because
it is.
Being in this far future, it can tie back to the things that are more familiar to a lot of fans and stuff. So it's like, oh yeah, I remember the Betazoids the way they used to be. It was cool, you know, back when they all had like black pupils, because they don't in this. They all just have like human eyes instead of like the Deanna eyes.
Yeah, a lot's changed for them. You know, they don't have the black pupils, and the leader is
he deaf? Or is just like their telepathy thing and he doesn't talk? Because like
I was thinking
a bit of that.
I was thinking, is he deaf and mute, or has his maybe lineage just not spoken for so many years?
Yeah.
And used their mental telepathy that his vocal muscles and everything just never really developed, you know? Because
they never explain it. So I was
never explain it, and nor do they really need to, you know.
No, it's just interesting.
It's interesting, right? But I'm wondering, because I think maybe it might be something about them just never speaking because they didn't need to. Because remember, Deanna's mother, Laxana, often she would just like speak to Troy, you know, and like, right, and she's like, "Oh man, I hate talking. Why do we have to always talk?" He's like, "Mother, when you're on the starship, you gotta." She's like, you know. So maybe
she's like, it's rude to talk about people when they can't hear you. She's like, but I love it, Deanna. I love doing it. Like,
great character.
Great character. For sure. So well, let's just run through both episodes real quick. Not like the plots or anything, but I think I had a couple of notes for each one that might be fun to discuss here.
Sure.
Oh, and I love her. Like, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the beginning where you know Starfleet and the Federation failed Caleb and his mother.
Oh yeah,
super hard.
She was clearly just being led along, like
knowing, like, you know. And I think that's really
she quit over that because she's just like, nah, that's not the Starfleet I want to work for. Which is another way I can relate to her, like. Even Sisko, who's not as by the books as a lot of Starfleet officers, still likes to toe the Starfleet line. He's most comfortable doing that. He wants to be able to do that, whereas she's like not really that way. She's just like, she's always trying to throw the other officers off and make them less rigid in their like Starfleet ways, sort of. I figure that's the only reason she was like, maybe it was to let the piggies out, but I think that's why she was in her bare feet. It was to throw that guy off, and it did throw him off. He's just like, oh, you can't wear bare feet around here. What's going on? It's quite impropriety. Like, he's just like, she's like, yep. That's why
and she admitted, I think it was to Caleb or to the Admiral, she admitted in a scene, she's like, you know, I failed that kid. You know?
Yeah, because he's like, he didn't have a choice. She's just like, yeah, but didn't I though?
Yeah, I could have did something different, you know, and I condemned him and his mom, you know, and that's
and then lost the kid, which isn't great either. Like, like he got away and became like a fugitive kid. That's not great.
That's not 15 years on the run, basically. You know, what kind of life is that? He, you know, in one scene, he's like, I never had a bed. You know, and she just like, you know, she's like, why aren't you making up your bed? He's like, I never had one. And she's like, wow. You know, it's like those little reminders, you know. So that was really a great starting place, I think, for this show. You know, that there are things that have to be reconciled that I think we'll see hopefully throughout the series. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah, they both need to like learn to trust Starfleet again, whereas like his mother told him never to trust them, so he'll probably always have a little bit of a distrust there. But don't trust them, they trust me. That was a crazy scene.
Them. Right. Yeah. As did Braca, or just playing.
Braca.
How do you like that character? Do you like that character?
I did, especially. Like I couldn't figure him out at first, and then he was just like, "I'm a Klingerite." I'm like, "Oh, he's a Tellarite Klingon." That explains so much about the way he's acting and everything. But no, he's very good.
Picture, man. That's a hot mess.
My favorite thing line of his was where he tells Caleb when he's little, he's just like, "Keep hold of your hate for me, it'll keep you warm."
It'll keep you warm, kid. I'm like, who says that?
And then when he meets him when he's older, Caleb's just like, so it worked, you know. He's like, what? He's just like, my hate for you kept me warm at night. He's just like, hating is what makes you a man, isn't it? I feel like that's such a comment on like a lot of like toxic male culture now. I feel like is what that was. And Caleb's just like, no, it sucks.
Right? No, I mean, it's great in the sense that we get to see that point of view from this guy, you know, because he's non-apologetic, but he's just you know, he's walking through stuff, he's burning down lives, man. You know, and I don't know if there's a heck of a lot of remorse behind him. You know, I guess eventually we'll find out why he's doing what he's doing, but he's burning down lives. And you know, it's not cool. It's not cool, you know.
He would almost have been sympathetic at first, especially if at the very beginning you knew he was a Klingon Tellarite hybrid, so you could just like write off him being horrible, kind of with a cultural thing. He's just being like a Tellarite with a Klingon attitude, so he's probably kind of abrasive to be around. Because he says he's just like, yeah, you're arresting me. He's just like, yeah, a guy died, but there was a starving woman and child, and I dealt with it because you guys weren't dealing with it. So like he was actually making fair points about the Federation. And you know, Vance is just like, we were in triage, the Federation was screwed, and we were freaking out, and like, you know.
But that's what people do. You know, they will lean their argument towards, you know, what they feel is the better side of that argument. He killed the person to get that food, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's not. He doesn't mention that, though, right?
Could have asked first.
Right. He killed somebody, dude, to get that food. Yeah. So, you know,
and roped a woman and child into like helping you, which is dirty.
Right.
Too.
Right. So, I mean, I think that's the point that the show and Star Trek is making, is saying, look, you know, the ends don't necessarily always justify the means, you know, not all the time.
Yeah, yes. Well, and that's a theme that Star Trek plays off of fairly often, I feel like. So we do see Bajor in this.
Yes.
Like, that's the planet we see. Nice shot of Bajor, very pretty.
Yes.
Now, there's been some rumors around. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's been enough chatter that maybe a producer said it or something, that like this show is supposed to be like a love letter to DS9. Maybe that's true. Maybe it isn't. Much like they said Prodigy was a love letter to Voyager, and it very much was.
Right. Well, hey.
Now, as someone with perhaps even a keener DS9 eye than myself, is there anything else that you noticed in those first couple episodes that spoke DS9 to you?
I really liked that it was Bajor, you know, that we see, you know, because we haven't seen Bajor since DS9, really, right?
She's like, it's a good school.
Right. It's a good school, right? And you know, if the writers want to do that, if they want to touch on places and things in DS9 and pay homage to it. Great, just like Prodigy did with Voyager. Great. I don't think any of us, myself included, would have a problem with that. The more we can get of Deep Space Nine and those legacy characters, the better. But you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. That's above my security clearance, man.
Yeah,
so I don't know. We'll see. We'll hopefully, maybe.
I thought you had level 5 clearance, Derek.
Nah, man. You know, I had level 5 clearance for writing the book, and then that got rescinded. So now I'm just, you know, watching like everybody else.
Klingons are getting busy with all the hybrid species. LOL, Cassandra. You know, Klingons have always been hybridizing. They're out there hybridizing. You know, nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. nothing at all. And what's the kid? What is his name? I can't think of his name right now. That he's not that he's another species that I've never seen.
The fish guy. He's like a Kyonian.
Yes.
The guy who turns into like the fish guy and can walk in space.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was so cool. You know.
Yeah.
And his appearance from when he transforms was so vastly different. You know, like you couldn't see one character in the other. They were just totally separate. I really enjoyed that.
I'll be interested to see why he doesn't just look like that all the time, why he's decided to look human or like, and like it's weird leading up to that reveal. Like he kept mentioning, and other people kept mentioning that he's a Kyonian, like it's like this big thing or whatever. And you're just like, what? He's just this dude, like
right? He's just this guy.
This is like preppy rich dude or whatever. Like, what's the big deal?
Right.
But yeah, so that was a fun reveal.
Yeah.
But yeah. And like I think it was cool too. They do like site to site transports around the ship more, like, which is kind of smart. Like,
yeah.
Captain just says to Thought, go check on the kids, and she's just like boink, and she's like gone.
Yeah,
makes sense, especially if it's like the size of a school.
Yeah, the size of the school. In Enterprise, we see in the show Enterprise, we see Enterprise J. Daniels transports Archer onto Enterprise J, and I believe Enterprise J, if I'm right, I think it was like the 29th. No, 31st. I think the 31st century, and that's a vast ship. I have it somewhere. That's a vast.
Oh, the J must be huge.
It's a huge ship.
Do you have like the Eagle Moss or something?
I do have the Eagle Moss.
Oh,
and
that's the J there. Oh, there it is. Yep. Oh, yeah, because it's got that like long nacelle kind of thing.
It's very streamlined, but this is supposed to be so large, that it would take like days to get to other parts of the ship, so people transport.
Wow.
Okay,
that's very cool.
Consider that.
So this is yeah. Well, I think the only other thing I have to say about episode. Well, okay, I have one nitpick about episode 1. Actually, one nitpick. Why did they let Braca get away?
Oh,
like he just busts out in one of their shuttles. It's just like, yeah, they would know that, and they he's like, bye bye. It's just like, no, you're screwed, bud. Like tractor beam, and they're just like, no.
And yeah.
That was my one nitpick.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I thought about that too. I was like, oh,
it's a choice.
If we had just seen like maybe Braca slap something onto a panel, then we could be like, oh, okay, he's overriding or whatever,
Yeah.
But hey, if that's the nitpick,
it's the only nitpick I had, though. It's the only one I had.
Right, I can live with that one. I really.
And he lives to fight another day.
Right, exactly. He lived to fight another day. It's just so much of it I love. I love that Stephen Colbert is like the voice of I think it's like Dean of Students, and so that voice that you hear saying,
pick up on that.
That's Stephen Colbert. So he's saying like, cool. Don't forget to eat because hanger is like the worst enemy. That's him.
Yeah. That was funny. Yeah. That's a cool role.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll ever show him in person. You'll just see it.
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh, the one thing that did make me cry, like this episode poked at my parenting feels. Where she's like, the one thing I learned about parenting, she's telling to Caleb, it's like, she's like, if I could go back, it's like, it's been 120 years, I had to think about this. She says, she's just like, I would have listened instead of advising all the time. And you know what? That's something I tell myself all the time too. I have a reminder that comes up on my phone every day that's just like, listen, like, don't like advise, essentially. Not exactly in those words, but exactly the same sentiment. No. So I was just like, oh, her too? Like, I swear to God, she's my spirit animal. I love this captain. Which may be egotistical, but whatever.
No, this show is doing so many things right. You know, it's looking at different perspectives from different people, and I think if we've seen anything in the first 2 episodes, it's exactly what you're saying, Davan, is that listening is so important. You know, she needed to listen. The Beta Z delegates need to listen. You know, Starfleet needed to listen to what they were saying. You know, there's a lot of listening that needed to happen, and I think that's why at the end of the second episode, you know, it's a lesson. Life is about change. Nothing stays the same. The only constant is change. You know, and so here we come after the burn, and Starfleet's like, oh, well, we're going to put the headquarters back in Paris like we did hundreds of years ago. You know, it's
that it's in Beta Z is very cool. Very cool.
Right. It's time to change. Let go. And if you keep holding on to the past, you can never embrace the future. You know, and I think that's what it's saying inside the show, and it's very meta. It's saying to the fans, you know, hold on to what you love about Star Trek, but don't necessarily judge everything that happens on this show by everything that you may have loved in the 60s, 70s, 60s, and 80s, and 90s, and 2000 Star Trek. This is still Star Trek, but it's different.
It has all those things, though. Like, to me, it's not as different as some of the things we've seen. Like, it's not as different as like Lower Decks or Prodigy or Discovery was to 90s Trek we grew up with. Like, this feels like very much like that. Like, in the way that you said, like, there's just so much heart. Like, it's just in the themes, like you said, it's the themes of change. It's like another strong theme in these episodes is like building, which is another way. I felt like they were speaking very meta, where they're like you were saying, like, build something new, and like and I feel like they're speaking to like what seems to be a very I don't know, it's a very kind of like adversarial sometimes and disparate Star Trek community, you know what I mean, as far as like the fans, it seems, which is upsetting, because you know we should all be pulling together. Like, if any people should be able to be on the same side, it's Trek fans. You know? Like. Yeah. So I feel like it's speaking to that. It's like, let's build something together that we all love, and let's, like, you know,
let's come together.
Put all the differences aside, or like embrace them even better than putting them aside.
There are more things that connect us than separate us, and that's the way it's always been. You know, whether we're talking about humanity, or you're talking about, you know, Betazoids and humans, you know, it's the same thing, man. You know, it's the same. It's the same thing, you know. And I just love that second episode, because the Betazoids had all of these demands. They're like, we want 12 starships in our
on the Security Council, which is probably like half of the council.
It's like right, and, you know, and like, you know, and another thing I loved about that episode is that the negotiations are being held not in secret, not in private, out in the open, full transparency for everyone to see. And what that's saying is that, you know, because I don't even think that would happen in the 24th century Star Trek, but in 32nd century Star Trek,
kids,
not hiding anymore.
We're a room full of the kids.
Like, with a room full of kids, right? It's like we're embracing. We're bringing in, we're not excluding, you know, we're not going to have all these secrets. Not to say they don't have intelligence agencies and all that, but, you know, hey, we're being really open and transparent, and we're going to have these negotiations out in the open. We're going to argue. We're going to do all this out in the open. That is Star Trek, and that's what really made me feel really good on watching this. Is what I loved about it.
I liked her line that the kids are our ambassadors to now. Like
they are.
And I feel like that's a set, like, I think that's something our politicians should have to do. They should have to make some of these like bill decisions they make in front of their kids and their kids' friends, and like fill the room with like their kids and be like, now like vote against like education, go for it, or like whatever, but like, because it's like all these decisions these old politicians make, it's the kids that it's going to affect for the next 60 years.
Absolutely. Admiral Vance has a line, I think, in the first episode. He's like, these kids didn't, they basically, he's saying, we're handing them a crap future, and they have to, build a way out of it, and we're handing it to them, so we've got to do right by them. And I think that's right for the show. It's right for now. We have to think about younger people, younger generations, and sometimes listen to them. Maybe don't listen to the AI, or listen to listen to certain leaders, but listen to kids, because kids, they have a huge stake in this too, right? It's their future that we're mucking around with. So,
and I like what they say about this particular. Ake, I believe, says it about this particular crop of kids. She's like, there used to be all these different avenues and regular channels that people took to go to Starfleet Academy. She's just like, all these kids had to find their way here. And like, she's like, that makes them all exceptional already. Like, she's like, this is a good group of Starfleet cadets here we got here. They're all like, had to try extra hard to get here.
I'm so glad you said that. That was a really, really great point, because in the past, Starfleet Academy, within the lexicon of Star Trek, was starting to become like this, at least it felt to me, this level of like the best of the best, and elitism and privilege and Red Squad, all of that. And this got rid of all of that. You've got kids that are, the burns separated everybody, and a smart kid will find a way. It's a smart kid. And because they may not have done this or that doesn't mean it not to be included, like Caleb. It's like, well, he passed the test in the back of the shuttle coming here, so he belongs just as much as anybody else. I really enjoyed that.
Agreed. And is the best line ever in these two episodes, maybe at least. It's just like, look, if I'm gonna die, there's very much too much cheerfulness in this room for my life.
Is that not a great scene? The left, the other left, a little more left. You know, right?
She's like, scan it, see if it's hit a major artery. If not, get ready to pull really hard. And then it's like, what?
Right. You know,
yeah, then she's like, "You're supposed to." She's just like, "I am already dead. I go into battle to reclaim my life."
Life, right? Like, yeah. Oh, man.
So good. I love her so much.
Yeah.
Oh, and my one nitpick about the second episode is Jet Reno attributes a quote to Oscar Wilde. It's not an Oscar Wilde quote.
It's not Wilde. I didn't know. I just took it for granted.
It's a quote by the American playwright David Mamet. Or Mamet, perhaps.
Oh, Mamet. Yeah.
Mamet. Yeah.
That's his quote. I love his work.
Yeah, the old age and treachery always overcome youth and exuberance. That's a David Mamet. They changed a little. She says in a smart ass, or no,
right.
She says in a smart.
Oh, it's Mamet. That's interesting.
But Oscar Wilde does have a famous old age quote, and it's a good one too. And that is, the tragedy of old age is not that one is old, but that one is young. I know, right?
That's a good one.
It's like, ow. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Use that, you know. And yeah. I love that scene because, you know, Caleb, he's looking for that planet and he doesn't care. You know, he doesn't care, man. He's like, you know, look, you know, I know all this stuff. What are you doing? And honestly, I've been like that when I was younger. I've been like that in classes.
Every teenager is like that.
Right. It's like I'm wasting my time. Like you're telling me I know all this stuff already,
Mm-hmm.
And
I was like that.
She shut him down pretty well. She was like,
yeah.
"All right, get up there and do it." Oh, my name is Caleb. Right? So.
She's like, "I'm not a bat." I guess one character we haven't spoke on is Terima, the Betazoid. Really, you haven't really spoke on her.
Yes.
So she's kind of like Tam Elbrin from Tin Man. Remember the TNT episode? Like where he was oversensitive and it drove him crazy. So she has this like shutdown thing
to dial it down.
She's basically Tam Elbrin and doesn't want to live in a Tin Man in space.
Right.
So
So
that's interesting. That's kind of a callback to TNG.
That's a really great callback. I wasn't even thinking about. I'll be honest. I wasn't thinking about Tam Elbrin. But once you said, I was like, oh. Tam, yeah.
Well, it's one of my co-cutor of Trek Dave's favorite episodes. He talks about Tam.
It's a phenomenal. Tin Man is a quintessential phenomenal next gen episode. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Was that Cetacean Ops? It must have been, or else they just have a whale tank. It must have been Cetacean Ops.
I think maybe it was Cetacean Ops. Oh, right, because it's the ship, right? So right. So it probably is Cetacean Ops because. It's weird because sometimes
we never got to see in live action, so I was super excited. I'm like, oh, Cetacean Ops.
Right, it could be Cetacean Ops because you're still on the ship, even though you're on the grounds, which is kind of nuts to think about, right? Yeah. So you might be right, man. You might be right. That's good.
I don't know. That'd be cool. Or like a Cetacean Lab where they train
Cetacean Lab,
Ops or something,
Yeah.
But that's that was cool to see. But I think there was a really great scene between her and Caleb where it showed how different they are. Like back to what you were saying about Caleb early in the first episode about the way he had to live his life through survival and all that.
Right.
So where they conflicted, like they were totally for each other, having great chemistry and everything. And then they have this huge conflict that is derived from the fact that she's used to a world where everyone is an open book because they're all empathic and telepathic. Including herself, everyone she's ever met. She's never a Betazoid. Betazed. So everyone she's ever met is a complete open book, and everyone he's ever met since he left his mother has been a closed book because it's been criminals, people that want to abuse him or whatever. It's literally they couldn't have been two different worlds
further apart. Yeah.
So she's like, why didn't you tell me? He's just like, because I just met you. And it's like my childhood trauma. Like, of course I didn't tell you. She's just like, well, I would have told you. It's just like, well, you would have, yes. And he would not. And that's the difference here.
It
was a great scene.
It was a great scene. And you framed it beautifully. What I also thought about was that, behind that Betazed wall, there's a level of course, isolation, protection, and and Caleb not being with any organization, not being with the Federation, everything. He's out there in quote unquote the real world or the real universe, and it's a whole different. I'm sure it's not different, and plus it's post burn, so I'm sure it's not great, So
it seems like there's a lot of rough areas now.
Right. So he's like, I'm not trusting anybody, but you're right. And the beauty is seeing them come closer and closer towards that middle, and meeting in that middle, which is great. And there's that scene when they had the argument, and one was going this way and one was going the other way. It was just so beautifully shot, So
yeah.
Great stuff.
I mean, if she walked into her audition and just smiled at them and they hired her, I'm not mad at that. She can say she had such an expressive face. Like her smile seemed to portray 5 emotions at once, and it's just like see why they hired you. You're quite the face actor.
I want to see their auditions. That would be great.
I like how there was 20 minutes of just this meeting or whatever, and then it just pans over to Thoth, and she's just like, you know what, our best versus their best to the death. And Jeremy was like, what? She's just like, it's quicker sometimes.
Let's just get it done. So
a lot of great Doctor tropes too. I picked out 3 different things, 3 different sentences that he said that he had said previously in a Voyager episode. Like they actually had him repeat actual dialogue.
Yes. Well, the first one is the one that I love. Tricorder.
Yeah, medical tricorder. That's the first one I noticed too. And then he does it 2 more times. Yeah, medical tricorder. Yeah, that's a classic. Oh, the goo thing too. She's like, and if you destroy your goo, you get a C. She's like, well, how do you get an F? Well, if it kills you.
It kills you, right. Oh man.
Yeah.
So good.
So good. But yeah, what did you think of the San Francisco song at the end of the first episode?
I liked that. It felt
Canada's own Rufus Wainwright.
Oh, really?
Doing the vocals on that. Yeah, if you want to get extra emotion out of a song, have Rufus Wainwright sing it. Check out his Hallelujah version of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. He does a great
job. It felt appropriate. It felt appropriate. It felt appropriate. I like the whole action sequence before that in space, and all that, and Caleb messing everything up. And then when they finally get to San Francisco, it felt like
they're all just walking out, like.
Yeah. It's like this is like Star Trek coming home in a sense,
Yeah.
And it felt good. It felt good, and the song was really beautiful. It was really a great moment.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, and I like that she was the daughter of the first house, the first daughter of the first house, who has the holy mantle of Beta Z.
So is she lineage then to
no, because Luoxana is daughter of the fifth house.
The fifth house, right.
Yeah. Wow. Holder of the sacred rings of Beta Z.
The sacred chalice, right.
The sacred chalice of Reeks. Yeah. Right. So I guess all these sacred families have their old, like, different piece of old pottery that's super sacred, I guess.
This is great.
It's pretty funny.
She's got bling in her teeth.
Oh, that was cool too. She was playing the whole time. She's like, oh, is it food? What is it then? Like, yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, it's pretty cool to reflect the diamond that's in her sacred holy mantle or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, I think.
What did you think about
all my notes? What about the war cult? What, the fact that the Federation has one at all?
Yeah.
Is that doesn't bother me. I would find that weird back in like TNG era, which was like, it's often referred to as like the golden era, where like there was less war and less strife in the galaxy, that sort of thing. But if this Starfleet that we see that has so many Klingons in it, so many Jem'Hadar in it, like so many species that have probably tailored a lot of their culture to warfare, where it would be excluding them culturally not to have them to be able to explore that, at least educationally, like intellectually.
I agree. And when we meet Starfleet in Discovery with Admiral Vance, he tells Burnham, he's like, we're not explorers anymore. We're trying to hold it all together. We're doing the best we can to hold. We can't even contact, subspace relays are down and all that. So we're trying to hold it together. So the war college makes a lot of sense, post Burn, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, for that reason too. If there's a lot of threats and which there is, like, what are they called? That thing that Noose Baraka works for. I forget that group they keep talking about.
I forgot
that. Betazoids are so scared of. That seems to be the big threat out there.
Yeah, that doesn't look
like pirates, basically.
Basically, right? They're pirates, And if he's with them, then I'm sure they're heavy duty. I'm pretty sure they're heavy duty bunch. So, wow.
I will say I laughed out loud when Jet Reno was just like, tell us who you are, and he like says his name. He's just like, no. She's like, no, not that. Have you ever made a mixtape? Like,
right.
I want to know the good stuff. Have you ever made a
the good stuff? Right? Yeah, it's a really good show, man. It's where would you place it in premier Star Trek, pilot?
Oh, well, I think the DS9 pilot is the best pilot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is it as good as that?
I don't know if I go that far. That's me though, but that's me.
No, I don't think so either. Just because you get so much character work in those first two DS9 and world building, and they have to do so much. And yeah, I mean, no, but like it's better than TNG for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the Strange New Worlds premiere was really good.
Strange New Worlds was good, yeah.
Voyager premiere
I would put this over Discovery premiere. Discovery's premiere was pretty dark.
It was action packed, but it was like a very singular story in that way. There wasn't a lot of world building and character building. Yeah. It's just go, get to the end of that story. They did a fair bit of world building around the Klingons in those episodes.
They did. A lot of this reminds me of Broken Bow. Broken
Bow is a great one too.
It's a great one. Yeah. And they had
I would say, yeah,
right.
I might go as far as to say DS9, Broken Bow, and this one might be the three best.
Yeah. I would throw in. It's just a personal favorite. Is
Lower Decks.
No. But when No Man Has Gone Before, just because I like Gary Mitchell and
yeah.
But it's a.
But is that the premiere or is like the?
Well, it's like the second premiere. I don't, right. Doesn't even does it count? But
we're not going to count the Cage. That's no one's favorite.
You're right. I think those three you named. I think that's. Yeah,
I mean they're great premiere. These ones are really good. Like I'm so looking forward to Thursday. Like I want to see episode 3. Now, before we wrap up here, do you have any final thoughts on the show, or do you have any things you're super looking forward to see, or anything maybe concerns even you may have about this series going forward?
Sure, I have. I'll start with concerns. My concern, I think. My concern is I want it to be it's making Starfleet Academy is making its own space in its own room, and I love that, and I think I don't want to see it leaning too much on old Trek. It's got a really great balance right now, and I think there might be a desire to lean back in the past. I think it's doing really well. That doesn't mean that we can't see stuff from the past, but you got to figure out where to place it, that kind of thing.
And the way they're adapting it in these first 2 episodes in a new way is interesting. Like instead of reaching back for like a traditional Klingon, we have a traditional Klingon who's not aggressive and violent, or a Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid. It's like adapting these old things in newer ways.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. And I think I want to see these kids mess up. I don't want to see them become fast friends quickly. I want to see. I've worked with enough teens. I know enough teens. And then these aren't really teens though. They're like in the beginning of their 20s. And that's
they're young adults.
Young adults. So it's a very experimental time, and mistakes are to be made. And that's how character is forged. So I want to see those mistakes, because I think those mistakes make for good storytelling. And I mean big mistakes, because they're all great characters, but they have little flaws we've started to see already. Of course, everyone wants to be a captain, everyone wants to do well, but let's see if that can lead them to peril. Or what can that take them, And I just want to see the show open up a little once it gets its grounding, and see if we really are we gonna take that are we gonna take the Athena out there and start exploring with kids on the that's going to be interesting to see if we do that. That's going to be.
I think I heard some comment from a producer, or maybe it was even Holly Hunter, that the ship will be going places.
The ship will be going places, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
It's like, why have a ship if it's not going to go anywhere?
Right. And one last thing I would say is I want to see. I know it's a main cast, So that's who we're going to focus on. But I would like to see a lot of those background kids every now and then get a line, get something, get maybe a little arc, just to show that this is an academy of other people other than this main cast.
Yeah, build out the school cast. Yeah,
build out the school. Exactly.
Stephen Colbert, get him out there.
You get him right. Yeah.
Let us have an assembly one episode, and he'll just be out there on stage in front of the but yeah, points well made about that. I have a slight concern about that too. I think my bigger concern going forward, if I have one, it would be that sci-fi is hard to write. As you know. It takes someone as skilled as yourself to write good sci-fi. So I find a lot of, not just Star Trek, a lot of sci-fi shows I try to watch, they seem to run out of steam. They keep going, but they seem to run out of ideas. Like a lot of shows I find, you see the idea that started the show, and then that gets explored in the first season, and then there's really nothing, and they just keep going. Or they take that idea and they try to spread it out over so many seasons that it just gets lost in that shuffle as well.
Right.
So sci-fi, especially, I find Star Trek in like it is in these first 2 episodes, with a lot of heart and a lot of themes and a lot of just like great dialogue. It's hard to write, but teen romance is easy to write. So if I have any concern going forward is if they run out of ideas, we could easily get this. But
we could get right. Fall
like
into
it
that,
could devolve into that if they just run out of sci-fi ideas. So like, but we have our characters now. Let's go all in on the characters. I'm like, yes, but let's not forget about the sci-fi. Let's go all in on the characters, but let's not forget about the themes and the heart and of the world. Like the heart wasn't individual character stuff in these episodes. It was when all the kids stand up to try to like force the Beta Z leader to capitulate. Like that was very powerful. Like, that's that's the kind of stuff I want to see. I don't want to see like a ton of like super romance drama between like young adults. It's like it doesn't need to be. But I don't think it will necessarily go that way. But
no, but I think you're right. And we know that Kirsten Beyer is a showrunner, a writer on the show. She wrote lots of Voyager novels. So,
some comics too, the Stargazer comics.
Right. Stargazer comics. So, here's someone in the room is what I'm saying that will I think have exactly what you're saying in mind, and in those moments be like, well, there's so much science fiction, and at this point there's so much Star Trek to fall back on, where I don't see there's anything lacking. We can do sci-fi and Star Trek, and then sprinkle that with the young adult angst, and tell some really, really good stories. DS9 did that a little bit with Jake in some of his moments, like when he was just learning who he was and nor the battle to the strong, when Bashir takes him out there and he's a kid and he's out there by himself, and it's moments like that I would like
comes away thinking he's a coward.
And those are the kind of moments I want to see on this show, because now, because moments like that would strip away the luster and the image and the rhetoric of being out in space and being with Starfleet. When you're out in the real world and it starts to hit the fan, now I'm afraid, and now who am I in the midst of that fear or in the midst of that pressure? Those are the kind of things that I want to see these, young adults, see. We could find out who they are as they find out who they are. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Like, I feel like that's the whole purpose of having characters this age.
Exactly.
If you're not going to do that, then why? Why not have people with more life experience, your characters with more life experience you can draw from? If you're not going to, it's not going to be about the building. That's what seems to be the theme here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I think we covered it pretty well. What do you think?
No, we did. It was just a fantastic conversation, Davan.
Yeah, thanks, Derek.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation, man. This was great.
No problem. Well, let's talk about this for a minute. I'm not going to pick your brain about it, but let's hype it.
Okay.
It's out in paperback as well now.
It's out in paperback now. Autobiography of Benjamin Sisko. For those that are listening to this podcast, is now out in paperback. Came out in November. It's doing well. Hardcover is still doing well, which is good. You know, I actually have an entire chapter where Ben is in the Starfleet Academy. And there are a lot of interesting and similar themes. You know, I tried to convey what I thought it would be like to be in Starfleet Academy. So it was a lot of fun for me to watch this and to realize I got a lot of the things right. You know, that's what it would be like to be in the Academy. So if you're a Deep Space Nine fan and you want to know what Ben Sisko's life was like in the Academy, you could pick up the Autobiography of Benjamin Sisko.
Yes, I mean seriously, if you're a DS9 fan and you don't have this book,
pull it. Who are you? Right. Yeah. The prophets will not smile on you if you don't have
time to get your life together. No,
it's time to get your life together. Absolutely.
Look at this. Cassandra has 2 copies signed, and Cirroc Lofton signed one. Oh, very cool. That's a keepsake.
Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, I think we can probably get out of here then.
Yep. Thank you, Davan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can check us out here on the Swear to Pod Network and, Locutors of Trek. Contact me at locutorstrek@gmail.com if you want. Yeah, go ahead.
And I just want to say, I also have a podcast, Soul the Story.
Oh, of course. Soul the Story. I've been listening.
Yeah, thank you. Soul the Story. And our new, I believe the 28th of January is our new season, book 3. And I'll say it here. I'll drop it here. My guest will be Kirsten Beyer for the hour.
Oh, no way.
Oh, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about her career, and it's going to be a lot a lot of fun. So
did you do that? Did you do that interview already?
Oh yeah, it's done.
That chat already. Oh, it's done.
Yeah, it's already done.
Did you ask her about this show?
I'm sorry.
Did you ask her about this show? About
we talked a little bit about it, but I was going over her career, so we didn't get to that.
This is at the tail end of where she's at.
Yeah, just the tail end. I'm gonna have to ask her back, and now that the Academy is doing what it's doing, and ask her to talk about that as well. But yeah, it was a really fun hour speaking with her, so it was great.
Awesome. And this has been a very fun hour. An hour 13 speaking with you, Derek.
Thank you.
So there's only one thing left to say. Do it for Turner.
Do it for Turner.
Turner.
Long and for Turner.
Yeah, do it for Turner.